This is from Volume 3 of Marie Voltorta, The Poem of the Man God, the 328th chapter, The Day After at Alexandrocene, Parable of the Vineyard Laborers. It was written on the 13th of November, 1945. One half of the yard of the three brothers is in the shade, the other is in the bright sunshine, and it is full of people coming and going, doing their shopping, while outside the main door, in the little square, people are bustling about the noisy market of Alexandrocene, buying donkeys, sheep, lambs, poultry, because it is obvious that people are not so fussy here, and thus they take poultry to the market without any fear of contamination. Braying, bleating, cackling of hens, and triumphant cock-a-doodle-doos of cockerels mingle with the voices of people in a merry chorus, the notes of which now and again become dramatically high, because of some quarrel. Also the yard of the brothers is very busy, and people often wrangle over prices or because a customer has taken what somebody else intended to purchase. Then there is the querulous moaning of beggars in the square, near the main door, wailing over their misfortunes in a sing-song as sad as the lamentation of a dying man. Roman soldiers move imperiously about the square and warehouses. I suppose that they are on duty, as I see that they are armed, and never alone among the Phoenicians, who are all armed. Jesus also walks up and down the yard with the 6 apostles, waiting for the right moment to speak. He then goes out into the square, and passing near the beggars, he gives them alms. People pause for a moment to look at the Galilean group and to ask who the foreigners are. There are some who tell them, as they have already inquired of the 3 brothers about their guests. A murmur follows Jesus' steps as he walks about peacefully, caressing the children he meets on his way. There is also someone who sneers and utters unpleasant epithets at the Hebrews, as well as people who honestly wish to hear this prophet, this rabbi, this holy man, this Messiah of Israel, as those are the name by which they refer to him, according to their faith and their sense of righteousness. I hear 2 mothers say, "But is it true? Daniel told me himself. When in Jerusalem he spoke to people who had seen the miracles of the holy man." "Yes, I agree. But is this the same man?" "Oh, Daniel told me that it cannot be but him, because of what he says." "Well, what do you think? Will he grant me the grace, even if I am only a proselyte?" "I would say so. Try. Perhaps he will not come back here again. Try. He will certainly not hurt you." "I am going," says the little woman, leaving the vendor of kitchenware with whom she was haggling over some soup plates. The man, who had heard the conversation of the 2 women, disappointed and irritated because a good deal had come to nothing, rails at the remaining woman. "Cursed proselyte, Jewish blood, corrupted woman," etc., etc. I hear 2 grave bearded men say, "I would like to hear him. They say that he is a great rabbi." "A prophet, you should say, greater than the Baptist. Elias told me certain things, wonderful things, and he knows because his sister is married to a servant of a very wealthy man of Israel, and to get news of her he calls on his fellow servants. That rich man is a great friend of the rabbi." A 3rd man, a Phoenician perhaps, who being close to the 2 has heard what they said, thrusts forth his thin satiric face between the 2 and says, laughing scornfully, "Lovely holiness, dressed with wealth. As far as I know, a holy man should live in poverty." "Hold your cursed tongue, Doro, you heathen, are not fit to judge these things." "Ah, you are fit, particularly you, Samuel. You had better pay me that debt of yours." "Here, take it, and don't come near me any more, you fawn-faced vampire." I hear an old, half-blind man, led by a little girl, ask, "Where is the Messiah?" And the girl says, "Make room for old Mark. Please tell old Mark where the Messiah is." The feeble, trembling voice of the old man and the girl's argentine and steady one spread in vain over the square, until another man says, "Do you want to go to the rabbi? He has gone back towards Daniel's house. There he is, standing over there, speaking to the beggars." I can hear 2 Roman soldiers say, "He must be the one whom those crooks of the Jews persecute. Only by looking at him you can see that he is better than they are. That is why he annoys them. Let's go and tell the ensign." That is the instruction. How silly, O Caius! Rome bewares of lambs and puts up with, nay, I should say, caresses tigers. Scipio. "I don't think so, Scipio. Pontius puts people to death quite easily." Caius. "Yes, but he does not close his house to the creeping hyenas who flatter him." Scipio. "Politics, Scipio, politics." Caius. "Cowardice, Caius, and stupidity. He should make friends with this man. He would receive help to keep this Asiatic rabble obedient. Pontius serves Rome badly by neglecting this good man and flattering wicked people." Scipio. Do not criticize our proconsul. We are soldiers, and our superior is as sacred as a god. We have sworn obedience to divine Caesar, and the proconsul is his representative. Caius. That is all right with regard to our duty towards our sacred and immortal fatherland, but not with regard to one's personal judgment, Scipio. But obedience is based on judgment. If your judgment is against an order and criticizes it, you will not obey wholeheartedly. Rome relies on our blind obedience to defend its conquests. Caius. You speak like a tribune, and you are quite right. But I would point out to you that if Rome is queen, we are not slaves. We are subjects. Rome has no slave citizens, and must not have any. It is slavery to prevent citizens from speaking their minds. I say that it is my opinion that Pontius is wrong in not taking care of this Israelite. Call him Messiah, holy, prophet, rabbi, as you like. And I feel that I can say so because my loyalty to Rome is in no way impaired, neither is my love. Nay, that is what I would like, because I feel that by teaching people to respect the laws and the consuls, he cooperates to the welfare of Rome. Scipio. You are a learned man, Scipio. You will go a long way. You are already well ahead. I am a poor soldier. But look over there. There is an assemblage of people around the man. Let us go and tell our superiors. Caius. In fact, near the main door of the three brothers, there is a group of people around Jesus, who is well visible because of his height. Then, all of a sudden, a shout is heard, and the people become excited. Many people rush from the market towards the group, while others leave the group and run towards the square and beyond it. Questions, answers. What happened? What is the matter? The man from Israel has cured old Mark. The veil has vanished from his eyes. Jesus, in the meantime, has gone into the yard, followed by a train of people. Behind them all, moving with great difficulty, there is one of the beggars, a cripple, who is dragging himself along more with his hands than with his feet. But if his legs are crippled and weak, so that without crutches he would not be able to move, his voice is quite strong. He sounds like a siren rending the sunny morning air. Holy, holy Messiah! Rabbi, have mercy on me! He is shouting at the top of his voice, unrelentingly. 2 or 3 people turn round. Spare your breath. Mark is a Jew. You are not. He grants graces to true Israelites, not to the sons of a dog. My mother was Hebrew, and God struck her because of her sin, giving her a monster like you. Away, you son of a she-wolf. Go back to your place, you filthy mud. The man leans against the wall. He is downhearted and frightened by threatening fists. Jesus stops, turns round, looks at him. He orders, Man, come here. The man looks at him, looks at those threatening him, and dare not come forward. Jesus squeezes through the little crowd and goes to him. He takes him by the hand. That is, he lays his hand on the man's shoulder and says, Be not afraid. Come with me. And looking at the merciless people, he says severely, God belongs to all men who seek him and are merciful. They take a hint and are now the ones to be left at the rear of the crowd, or rather, they remain where they are. Jesus turns round again. He sees that they are embarrassed and on the point of going away, and he says to them, No, you may come forward as well. It will do you good, too. It will straighten and fortify your souls, as I am going to straighten and fortify this man, because he has faith. Man, I tell you, be cured of your infirmity. And he takes his hand off the shoulder of the cripple, after the latter has something like a shock. The man straightens himself up on his legs, now steady, throws away his worn-out crutches and shouts, He has cured me! Praise be the God of my mother! And he kneels down to kiss the hem of Jesus' mantle. The tumult of those who wish to see or have seen and are making comments rises to the highest pitch. In the long entrance hall, leading from the square to the yard, the clamor resounds with the resonance of a well and is echoed by the walls of the fort. The soldiers think that there is a brawl, which is likely to be the case in places like this one with so many contrasting races and religions, and a squad rushes to the spot. They elbow their way violently through the crowd, asking what is the matter. A miracle! A miracle! Jonah the cripple has been cured. There he is, over there, near the Galilean. The soldiers look at one another. They do not speak until the whole crowd has passed by, and more people have piled up behind it, coming from the warehouses and the square, where only the vendors are left. They are fretting with indignation at the sudden distraction, which has caused the market to be a complete failure that day. Then, when they see one of the 3 brothers pass by, they ask him, Philip, do you know what the rabbi is going to do now? He will be speaking and teaching in my yard, replies Philip, all overjoyed. The soldiers consult with one another. Shall we stay? Shall we go away? The ensign told us to watch. Whom? The man? As far as he is concerned, we may as well go and amuse ourselves dicing for an amphora of wine of Cyprus, says Scipio, the soldier who had previously defended Jesus, talking to his companion. I would say that he needs protection, not the rights of Rome. See him over there? Amongst all our gods, there is not one so mild and yet so manly looking. The mob here are unworthy of him, and the unworthy ones are always wicked. Let us stay and protect him. If necessary, we will defend him, and will dust these galley slaves' jackets," says another one, half sarcastically and half admiringly. "You are right, Pudens. Nay, Actius, go and call Prochorus, the ensign, who is always dreaming of plots against Rome and of promotions for himself, as a reward for his keen watching over the health of divine Caesar and of goddess Rome, the mother and mistress of the world, so that he may convince himself that he will not gain any armband or crown here." A young soldier runs away and comes back at once, saying, "Prochorus is not coming. He is sending Triarius Aquila." "Very well. Better him than Caecilius Maximus himself. Aquila has served in Africa, in Gaul, and in the wild forests where Varus and his legions were wiped out. He knows Greek and Britons, and he is clever at telling. Oh, hail! Here is our glorious Aquila. Come, teach us poor wretches how to judge the value of men." "Long live Aquila, the master of armies!" they all shout, shaking the old soldier, whose face, bare arms, and calves are marked with scars. He smiles in a friendly manner and exclaims, "Long live Rome, the mistress of the world, not me, a poor soldier. What is the matter?" "We are here to watch that tall man, whose hair is as fair as very light copper." "Good, but who is he?" "They say he is the Messiah. His name is Jesus, and he comes from Nazareth. You know, he's the one about whom the order was issued." Maybe, but I think that we are chasing shadows. They say that he wants to proclaim himself king and supplant Rome. The Sanhedrin, Sadducees, Pharisees, and Herodians have denounced him to Pontius. You know that the Jews have that fixed idea in their heads, and a king pops up now and again. I know, but if they are worried about this one, in any case, let us listen to what he says. I think he is going to speak. "I heard from the centurion soldiers that Publius Quintilianus said to him that he is a divine philosopher. The imperial ladies are enthusiastic for him," says another young soldier. "I am sure they are. I would be enthusiastic myself if I were a woman, and I would like to have him in my bed," says another young soldier, laughing wholeheartedly. "Shut up, you wanton fellow. Lust is devouring you," remarks another one jokingly. "And not you, Fabius? Anna, Syra, Alba, Mary?" "Be quiet, Sabinus. He is speaking, and I want to listen to him," orders the Triarius. They all become silent.